So we're going to start the videotape.
Oh.
It's recording now.
Okay.
Are you on the audio? We like to video record and also audio as backup.
Right.
Okay. Detective Golan will be taking notes, but sometimes all the information from the court we're not able to get it down, so with the video we can always go back and transcribe. So, and we're on, right?
Yep.
Okay. Today is Tuesday, August the 21st, 2007, and by my watch it is 11:16 a.m. We're here at Toronto Police Headquarters on the 3rd floor in the sexual assault interview room. We're investigating homicide 51 of 2007. The victim is Ross Hammond. That occurred on August the 9th in the Queen Street, Niagara area. And my name is Detective Constable Sabrina Ponzi. Ponzi is P-O-N-Z-I, badge number 9192. I'm here with my partner, Detective Gallant. Gallant is G-A-L-L-A-N-T, badge 2515. And we are interviewing, if you can state your name for the record.
Yanni Newman.
Can you spell your last name?
Yeah, N-E-W-M-A-N.
Okay, and how old are you, Yanni?
27.
Okay, so I would ask that each of you acknowledge that you understand that this statement is being video and audio taped and that you consent to such a tape being made. I know I acknowledge and consent.
That's what I'm supposed to say. I acknowledge and consent.
I acknowledge and consent.
Thank you. This statement will be taken under solemn affirmation and will be videotaped. You must understand that it is a criminal offense under section 139 and 140 of the Criminal Code to obstruct justice or to commit public mischief by making a false statement to police during an investigation. You must further understand that you may be a witness at a trial concerning the events you describe in this statement. If at that time you recant your statement or claim it to be false, it can and will be used at that trial, and you may be liable to prosecution under section 137 of the Criminal Code for fabricating evidence. Finally, you must understand that you are not obliged to give this statement, and if any person has by words or acts attempted to persuade you to provide it, you are to disregard those words or acts and only give this statement if you freely choose to do so. Do you understand your right to choose whether or not to make a statement?
Yes.
Do you understand the criminal consequences of making a false statement?
Yes.
Do you understand the fact that this statement will be videotaped and under oath?
Yes.
Okay, do you choose then to give a statement?
Yes.
Thank you. He's going to defer. If you can state your name for the record.
Doris Walker, badge number 86881.
Thank you.
Do Yanni Newman solemnly affirm that the evidence that you shall give on this investigation shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Doris.
You're welcome.
Okay, so the time is 11:19. The Commissioner of Oath has left the room, and we'll begin with the interview. So on the evening of August the 8th, turning into the 9th, so it'll be Wednesday turning into Thursday, we understand you're in the Queen Street, Niagara area, right? Can you tell me what you were doing there?
I was coming home from work. I have a studio in Niagara, so I was gonna take the Queen Street car east back to my house.
Okay. And just to confirm, this was at what time?
I'm not sure. It would have been late though. I put it around midnight.
Okay.
No, do you just want me to get into it? Or?
Yeah, I would just start with, I guess you were leaving your workplace, so what direction you were headed, and then what events you saw.
Right, okay. So I came up Niagara, and so I was waiting at the bus shelter, which is actually a streetcar stop right in front of the coffee time, which would be on the southwest corner of Niagara and Queen.
Okay.
And as I was waiting for a streetcar, I started hearing screaming and yelling at first, sort of unintelligible, from a few blocks over east.
Okay.
So as the streetcar was approaching from the west end, I start to hear these words being screamed by this woman. Something to the effect of, and I can't remember the exact words, but it was more or less, someone call 911, get that man, those two men over there, that man hit me, someone call 911. And I still couldn't tell where it was coming from because it was sort of dark and it was a few blocks back. But again, as the streetcar's approaching, there started to be a crowd of people on the north side of the street.
Is this east of where you are standing?
Yeah, on the north side, about a block and a half east.
Okay.
So there was one crowd of people, and about half a block in front, these two guys were walking quickly.
Now, are you able to determine this is where the voice, the yelling is coming from as well?
Yeah, because there was still noise going on as they became visible to me. Okay, so as the streetcar approached and stopped to let people on, there was a few people with me, so it was taking its time to let us on. These two guys crossed the street. And one of them was saying, no, come on, let's just go. And I think they were trying to get onto the streetcar, but the other group of people caught up with them. So we were all sort of on the streetcar. The doors closed because there started to be some scuffling outside, which then broke out into a full fight. Now, the part of it that I saw clearly was this guy I mentioned to you before, who's short and pretty stocky, widely built.
This is one of the first two guys.
Yeah,
right.
This is one of the first two guys. He was he was fighting right beside the bus shelter. This would have been on the west side, or like just
the south side.
Yeah, we're still on the south side of the street, and so right beside the bus shelter that I just come from.
Okay. So if you're like looking at the front of the bus, the side opposite the driver, right? So the right side of the streetcar?
Yeah, the right side of the streetcar. Now there's a sort of a coffee time there. And
okay. So it's the south side of the street.
Yeah, it's the south side of the street. So, and this is happening right between the streetcar and the bus shelter.
Okay.
And sort of just directly to the west of it.
Okay.
And it's sort of moves from the street onto the sidewalk, and there's 2 or 3 of these kids jumping this guy, or I wouldn't phrase it like that. They were fighting, and then one of them fell to the ground, he passed out, and the other 2 just kind of jumped back a bit. At which point, this guy said, "Who's next?" Like, who's next? There was sort of a come up. Not one of the. I think there was sort of. There was the other guy who was sort of caught up with the other group of people on the other side of the streetcar, but I didn't see too well what was going on there. So again, 2 or 3. 2 of the guys were trying to help up the guy who passed out, and after probably a minute, he got up and there was blood all over, like running down his face.
This is the guy that was passed out?
Yeah, the 2 guys that had been fighting the other guy were helping him up. Meanwhile, the guy who sort of taunted the rest of them, who's next, this guy moved in front of the streetcar and to the other side. So now they're blocking traffic, and cars aren't moving because there's a whole crowd of them, maybe 5 or 6, and they're moving around unpredictably on the street. So I think he was trying to fend off some of these kids and a taxi that had stopped so as not to hit them. I think he wanted to leave. He was trying to get away from the scene. And at first he was just sort of holding on to the cab, talking to the cab, trying to get the cab driver to let him in. The cab driver wouldn't let him in, so he spread eagled himself on the hood of the car. Now at this point, I can't be positive, but I think the other friend was fighting with the two girls. There was two girls, and I think he was fighting with them a little bit further down on the actual street, maybe on the sidewalk. Now, and then around then I called the police, so I was kind of on the phone and explaining the situation. And something really strange happened. This guy who was spread eagled on the cab, this other cab was trying to get through between the stop cab and the streetcar. And it was sort of driving past.
So this
slowly.
cab is westbound in the same direction as that cabbie?
That's right.
First cab that stopped?
Yeah, they're both westbound.
Yeah.
And I think he's trying to move through the blockage of the traffic. And this guy spread eagle on the hood did see the approaching cab driver. And the passenger window must have been open, like in the front, and he grabbed onto the open sort of door frame of the cab, and the cab driver freaked out and just stepped on the gas and dragged him the block. So I don't know how far, but dragged him away from the scene.
Did you see at all how far they went?
No, I lost sight of it, but I would say it's the block into Trinity Bellwoods.
Okay.
Now I think around that point the streetcar driver started to move again, so I lost track of what happened after that.
Okay.
But then eventually he had to stop around Spadina because I think the cops were going to come in and take the statement, so I just got off the block for a while.
Okay. So as the car starts to pull away, the streetcar,
Yeah.
do you see anything else in and around the immediate scene as you're leaving?
Nothing clear. Nothing clear.
Okay, so let's go back a little bit.
Sure.
And first of all, the two guys that you see initially, and they're crossing northbound to southbound, right? What do they look like?
For some reason, I only remember clearly one of them.
Okay. Okay, well, let's start with him then.
Okay, so he would have been fairly short.
It's fairly short.
I'm good with feet. I'd have to say like 5'7".
5'7", okay.
Yeah. Maybe shorter.
Okay. His weight?
I'd put him at 200.
Okay. Now, is he a chubby guy or athletic and built? Stocky?
Somewhere in between. He's stocky. Very stocky build.
Okay. And what's he wearing?
A black short sleeve shirt.
A t-shirt or a button-down
I think
shirt?
it was a t-shirt.
Okay.
I think it was a t-shirt. Can't be positive, but I think it was a t-shirt. And straight legs, sort of light blue jeans, black shoes.
Okay.
Yeah, short, wavy black hair.
Okay. Like about your length?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And sort of gel back.
Okay. Anything about his face that you remember? Clean shaven?
Clean shaven. Yeah, clean shaven.
He's white?
Yeah. White, he was tan.
That's what I was gonna say. Light, medium, dark complexion?
Yeah, medium. I'd say like Italian, something like that.
Okay.
If I had to guess.
Okay.
Pretty hairy
Okay.
from his arms and his chest. Maybe wearing a necklace too.
Okay. So now when he's walking, does he seem like is he staggering at all, or he's
He's nervous.
nervous?
Yeah, he's nervous.
Well, why do you say nervous? Like,
Well-
what are his movements like?
Hurried and again, I mean, I heard him say, "Come on, let's just get out of here." And
So it was him that was
he's
saying that.
looking around shiftily as well before the fight actually broke
Okay.
out.
So he's alert, right?
Yeah, yeah, he's alert.
Walking deliberate.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, he doesn't seem inebriated or
Okay.
which doesn't mean he wasn't. Just
Right.
Not to tell at least.
Well, that's what I just want to know if he even looked at at
Yeah.
that point.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
I think his friend was a bit bigger than him.
Was bigger than him.
Yeah.
So what was his friend's height
5'10"?
and his weight or stature?
Again, stocky guy.
He's stocky as well. How much would you put him at?
210.
Okay. And what was he wearing?
I don't remember. That's the thing.
Okay. Do you
Jeans
remember?
as well. I remember jeans. His hair was fair, and he may have had a beard, but I can't.
His hair was fair.
Yeah, I think.
Like would he light brown?
Yeah. Or even blonde.
How old did they look to be?
These guys look to be in their late 20s, early 30s.
Okay. And the friend, he's white as well.
Yeah.
Is he a medium complexion or is he lighter or
I
darker?
think he was lighter.
Lighter. Okay. Were they carrying anything?
Nothing big. Nothing that, no bags or anything like that.
And did the friend, did he look alert as well, or did he appear to be impaired in any way?
Again, for some reason, I really don't remember much about him, but I can say that he was the less assertive or decisive of the two in the situation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, there's 3 or 4 people following him that catch up with him.
Directly, there's 3, but I think that the group of people following them had strained out because, and I guess probably because as these guys were speeding up to try and get away, some of the group had sort of broken off to try and catch up with them.
Okay, so just so I'm clear, as they're following, the group disperses a little bit, and there's, when you said directly, when they catch up to them, there's 3 people
Yeah,
when they're just by the streetcar.
yeah.
Okay, and are they all men?
The ones that catch up to them.
Are all men?
Yeah, and and the women were a little bit behind. I think there was a bicycle involved.
Someone was on a bicycle?
Or walking it at that point,
Okay,
which would explain the lag time between the 2 groups.
okay.
Yeah, I don't think the women got involved quite that. Yeah, you're wrong about that. But
Sure, okay.
I seem to remember the initials of strike was from the 3 guys.
So what do these 3 guys look like? Can you describe any of them?
They looked like, squeegee kids. One of them had no shirt.
Like he was shirtless?
Yeah, shirtless. That's the guy that fell actually. Dreaded, sort of scuffed up hair, bleach blonde.
This is the one guy in
This is
particular
the
you're
guy.
describing?
This is the guy that dropped. This is the guy that passed out.
Okay, so how tall would you say he is?
6 feet, give or take.
Okay, and his weight?
160 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Lanky guy.
Lanky.
Not a huge guy.
And you said blondish, matted,
Yeah.
unkept hair?
Yeah.
How long is that?
Well, it's varying lengths. I mean, he had a couple dreads, which would have been chin length maybe, and then some shorter bits, short parts. And
What was he wearing?
he had no shirt. He
No
wasn't
shirt.
wearing a shirt.
And then on the bottom?
Either army pants or sort of cargo shorts, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Color?
greenish beige.
Okay. Do you
So
recall what he had on his feet?
I have to say like skater shoes.
Skater?
Yeah, like fat sneakers.
Okay.
But again, it's flat.
Yeah. Was he carrying anything?
Not that I can tell.
Did you see anything at all in his hands?
No.
Any belts or anything like around his?
Yeah, that was about around his
What kind of belt was it?
like a cargo belt, like a cloth.
Sorry, like a cargo belt?
Yeah.
What color was that?
I think it was a similar color to the jeans or the pants. Again, I don't want to be too certain about that.
Okay.
It's just sort of my impression.
Were there any pockets or anything on the belt or his pants?
Well,
or-
yeah, there's pockets on the pants. Then the two or the three guys, they were all wearing pants with pockets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one guy.
That's the one guy. Then there was another one who was a little bit more portly, a little bit more stocky, a bit shorter.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of facial hair, beard, and he was wearing a baseball cap as well.
What color was his hair?
Fair.
Okay.
Either light brown, sort of blonde brown.
So these guys are all white.
These guys are all white.
I don't know if we said how tall is this guy now that you're talking about?
He was a bit shorter, say 5'10".
Mm-hmm. And his clothing?
Baggy t-shirt.
Color?
Don't remember. I think it was light. I don't think those are dark t-shirts.
Okay. And on the bottom?
I think he was wearing jeans. I don't totally remember. But I think he was wearing jeans.
And on his feet?
Yeah, I guess kind of easy for that. I mean, then there was another guy who was also tall and lanky.
And white.
Yes, and white, and had long hair. But
What
I
color
feel
was his hair?
dark. It was probably brown. But I don't remember when he was wearing it. Now, the other person I could identify was at one point I saw a girl. What do I remember about her? She had a black dress on,
Okay.
and what was her height? I have to put her at 5'7" maybe.
Okay, so she's 5'7". She's wearing a black dress, is that what you said?
Yeah.
What's her weight like?
She wasn't skinny, like she wasn't a slim build. I couldn't guess at her weight in terms of pounds, but she looked like
Average?
yeah, sort of average, a little bit overweight maybe. And fair skin.
Fair skin, and her hair is was lighter?
It was lighter. Yeah.
Like bright orange or just
Um,
like a,
like a bronze.
okay, like a popperish?
Yeah.
Maybe.
It was a while back, so again, I can't. The
Her
hair
hair
color,
straight or?
It's sort of combed over. It's pretty short. But yeah, it is straight. No more than I'd say. She had sort of bangs that were combed over.
Is it possible it was up or?
Yeah,
Okay.
that is. It's possible.
Do you recall what she had on her feet?
No. No, I didn't see that.
And so where is she in this?
She's on the street side of the streetcar.
Okay.
So she's sort of in the traffic.
This is while the skirmish is going on with the big stocky guy, or this is
Yeah,
later?
there's a big stocky guy who's been pulled over by the shelter, and then there's something else going on the other side of the streetcar, and then there's kids sort of going back between the two.
Okay, so this female in the black dress, you put her over on the north side of the streetcar.
Yeah, just in front of the streetcar, and sort of on the north corner.
Does she ever move towards the south to where these guys are having their, or would you even know?
Yeah, she moved closer towards it, and at one point when the stocky fella dropped the shirtless kid, she got pretty raw, and
She got raw?
she got mad, she got upset,
Okay.
like really, really upset.
And she came over?
Yeah, I think the stocky guy moved away from where he hit this kid,
Yeah.
and he sort of moved up, and
Towards
there was a collision up towards the front of the streetcar, sort of back into the traffic on the street.
Okay.
And at one point, I think that she was actually fighting with the guy, or with one of the two guys.
So you saw them fighting?
Yes, I saw her fighting someone.
Okay. But
I'm not sure that it was him, or
it could have been, but you're not sure.
Yes, that's right.
And so how was she fighting? Like, was she throwing fists?
Yeah.
Yeah? Like punches? She's punching out?
Mm-hmm.
Was she kicking, pulling, or was just punching out?
There was a pile of people, right? So
Yeah.
it was,
So there's people around them wherever
Yeah.
she's fighting.
yeah, and it's in between cars too, so it's hard to tell who's doing what
Okay.
from my vantage.
But arms are flailing.
Yeah.
Was she fighting a guy though? Do you know that?
Yeah.
Okay, it was a guy.
Mm-hmm.
And was he punching back?
Yeah. Or at least he was trying to throw her off, right?
Okay.
And not being too nice about it.
Okay.
No.
So as this is happening, does your attention stay there?
Mm,
Like, do you see what happens to break that fight up? Like, at some point it stops, right?
yeah. Well, yeah. And I don't know why. I'm not sure why.
Okay. Is it
now,
possible your attention gets diverted somewhere?
well, yeah. I mean, again, right around then is when I looked around me and I didn't see anyone calling 911, so I did just in case the call hadn't been made.
Okay, so you're calling 911?
So around then is when I started
Okay.
getting my information,
Right.
waiting on the phone and all this.
Right.
So, I'm not, there's a couple of holes there. And then when I did start paying attention again, I was mostly looking at the guy's spread eagle on the cat because I thought that was his strength maybe. So I didn't really, but there was more fighting. I just wasn't paying attention to it.
Okay. So you see this fight, this girl is
Yeah.
fighting this guy, and this is at the front of the car now?
Yeah, it's sort of. Well, it's on the street north of the streetcar.
Okay, so are you looking out the main front window that the driver of the car looks out, or you're looking out the side window?
I'm looking out the side window.
Okay. Where are you positioned on the bus?
On the streetcar, I was I was in the aisle, closer to the front.
Is this a double car, like with the
Yeah. You know,
rubber thing
yeah,
to
the thing
hold
in
it
the middle,
together?
sort of the joint.
So you're before the joint.
Yeah, I'm up near the front,
Okay.
near the driver,
Okay.
and so at any given time I was looking out the windows. Around.
So as you look out, whether it's to your right or your left, you've got a clear view out each window.
Yeah,
Are
I
there-
mean, the only spot I wouldn't have a clear view of is where the driver is.
Okay.
So that would be the northeast corner.
That's a blind spot for you, right?
Exactly.
What's the lighting like?
It was pretty dark,
Yeah.
so it's just been street light.
But is the street lighting good? Is it like, as far as that, the artificial lighting, is it well lit?
So yeah, it's Queen Street. It's a main street.
Yeah.
There's good light.
So you can see clearly. So you're saying after that first, well, the fight there where you see the girl fighting,
Mm-hmm.
you don't focus, you know there's stuff going on, but you don't really focus on anything in particular again until you see this guy over by the cab,
Yeah,
which is in the westbound lanes,
that's
right? When the stocky guy gets ambushed by those three people
Yeah.
initially,
Mm-hmm.
how certain are you that those are three men?
Not terribly. I know that of the group that approached him, the ones that he was fighting with, that pushed him, because again he was right where the lineup would have been in front of the doors of the streetcar.
Okay.
And as this crowd catches up with him, he starts to back off.
Mhm.
Hey, wait a minute. So he backs off west past the bus shelter and onto the sidewalk.
Okay.
And there may very well have been a woman in that group,
Okay.
but the people sort of in the very front of the group,
Yeah.
who within a few seconds he then starts fighting with,
Yeah.
were men at that point, and that was the first kind of that was when it actually turned into like a street brawl, as far as I could tell.
Okay.
Now there may have, something may have happened a few blocks back that I didn't see.
Right.
And it was just a continuation of that.
Do you recall who threw the first punch or blow or?
Very hard to say because I don't think it was. I'm not sure it was. It wasn't that straightforward. It was heat arguing, and there was shoving, and it just slowly. You know what I mean? It just
Mhm.
escalated from this guy being shoved around to fist.
Okay.
Right? So it was already pretty violent before anything, obviously, before the fist came out of it.
Are there words being exchanged at this time?
Yeah, but I'm not sure what they were. They were arguing over what had happened.
Okay. So suddenly now they're into it, they're fighting.
Yeah.
And is it quickly after that the one guy drops and goes down, that our big brawly guy knocks one of them out?
Yep. Couple minutes.
Did you see how that happens? Like, does he punch him? Does he?
Yeah. Well, at least something to do with the fist. I mean, he was surrounded, right? He had, you know, well, he had 3 guys on him. So he was sort of behind 1 or 2 guys from where I was.
She couldn't see everything clearly.
No,
Okay.
but I did, you know, I just at one point I just saw this guy trip backward and just fall.
Okay, so he's out. And then what do the other guys, the other street people do when he goes down?
They go down, well, they
Do they back off or they?
it like the fight kind of stops for a second, which is when he steps back, and then he says, you know,
Who's next?
anyone else who's next, something like that.
Yeah.
And at that point when he steps back, they go down to help their friend to see if he's okay.
Okay.
You
And
know.
you said that he moves from where he was initially?
Yeah.
So he moves towards the front of the bus, the
Yeah,
streetcar?
that's right. Back up onto the street.
And is this where he is confronted by the female in the black dress?
That's right. The female in the black dress and the other people around her.
You said she's ticked off now, I forget what word we used.
Yeah, she's well upset anyway.
Okay. And so what, is she saying anything at this point?
She's yelling at him, but I couldn't forget the words.
Okay. Is he yelling back at her? So they're yelling at each other. They move towards each other.
I mean, I think this guy is kind of fighting a defensive fight, right? So
Right.
they're moving in on him, and he's sort of
Defending himself.
yeah.
Okay, so she moves towards him then? Is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah.
And at some point you see her arms outstretched, punching.
Right.
He's either punching or, you know, just trying to fend her off,
Mm-hmm.
doing whatever it takes. Do you see any weapons at this point?
No, I didn't. I can't conclusively say that I saw weapons at all.
Okay.
I mean,
Well, and that's what we want you to be truthful. If you
Yeah.
didn't see it, you didn't see it, right?
yeah. So yeah, I can't. I didn't see it at the point. Yeah. At no point was I like, oh, she was this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a knife, God, whatever.
Okay. So, anything else that you can remember about this fight that's going on now, this specific one? I know you said that you get on the phone with 911.
I started telling them where I was, what the scenario was, how many people were involved.
Yeah.
They told me that they had received a few calls, but to stay on the line and try and describe what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
He was around when everything moved to the middle of the street and eventually a little bit further north, like on the north sidewalk. That's when the streetcar drivers started pulling away. So I started losing information at that point.
Okay. Well, before we get to that, then I know that you saw a fair bit where the cabs are concerned. So
Yeah.
you don't see anything more. Your attention gets diverted from the front or from that where the girl is with this guy now, right?
That's right.
And you're calling 911, and then when you start to focus in again and pay attention, you're looking out looking towards your left, towards the north side of Queen Street.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
And
So
that's and you see the guy on the cab. Can you describe him? Is he like
same guy. It's the stock guy with the black shirt.
the same guy that was in the fights over here
Yeah.
that's fighting with the girl?
Yeah.
Okay, so what does he look like now? Like, are you able to see his movements at all? Like, is he as deliberate and assertive and everything as he was before?
Well, yeah, well, you know, he's not, obviously he's not as, it's not a matter of him being shifty and trying to, I mean, because before he was trying to slip under the radar, as it were,
Yeah.
just kind of get
Just
away.
duck
He
out.
was trying not to bring attention to himself, and at this
Mhm.
point it was beyond that. He was just trying to get away.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, assertive, sure. I mean, the guy was spread eagle on a cab. Like, he would not let the cab leave without.
Mm-hmm. So he's on the hood.
He's on the hood. Yeah.
And is he like, is he laying across the hood, or is he?
He's got both arms out. He's laying sort of belly forward on the hood.
So his head is right at the
Yeah,
the
head,
window?
like head sort of up at the windshield, arms on either side, sort of trying to sort of grab onto the sides of the cab.
Wow. And is he saying anything?
I couldn't hear, but it was probably, probably having to do with the cab and trying to get in it.
Yeah. What's the cab driver doing?
He's not moving. He's just locked the doors, the windows are off.
Is he yelling anything back at the guy, or
I
is he
couldn't
doing
tell. I couldn't tell.
Do you know what he looks like, the cab driver?
No, I couldn't see inside the cab at all.
Do you know whether he's white or black or brown or anything? Okay. Do you know
I think he was
Diamond?
either Beck or Diamond.
Becker? Do you know the colors?
It was orange. Yeah, orange. See, that's the thing. I can't remember if it was orange or black or orange or green.
Do you know if he had a fare? Did he have anybody in the back seat?
I hadn't thought of that. It could be. Could be.
Yeah.
But either way, points, he wasn't going to
Okay. So after he's laying on the hood, he's grabbing on, the cab's not moving, and then you talk about the other cab that comes, right? So does he get off? He pulls himself off the hood?
Yeah, well, as this other cab is, there's people around, so you can't drive too quickly. So as this other cab is sort of slowly driving through the space between the streetcar and this sort of stuck cab.
Mm-hmm.
He gets off the hood and grabs the window, or
Yeah.
the open window frame.
So he grabs on, he puts his arm through and holds on to the frame.
Yeah.
And do you see anything in his hand or anything at that time?
No.
No?
Because there's now a cabin who would be,
Okay.
right? Because he would have been on the passenger side.
Right. So you've got the whole car between you and
Right.
you're looking out the window.
I just kind of saw him.
So you see
Elbows, like put his arm and just with his elbows grab him.
and then that driver takes off.
Yeah. He sort of gets the front and just takes off. This guy's driving home.
So that's the last you see of the stocky guy?
Yeah. And that's right around when the streetcars start to leave. So
Did you see the girl again with the skirt after that?
she was still around.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was still.
How do you know that?
Well, I saw the group.
As you're pulling away, you see the group?
Yeah, and the whole thing starts to move as well. I think a little bit further west and north.
Do you see the police arrive at all?
No,
Okay.
no, the streetcar left before the police.
Is there anything else that you think is relevant that I haven't asked you?
Yeah. There was blood. You asked me about blood the other day when I spoke to you last.
Okay.
So I guess maybe if you just want me to reiterate
Yes.
that the original fight that I did see, when the kid got back up again, there was blood all over his head, sort of coming down his face and his neck.
Just to be clear who you're talking about, this is the street guy without the shirt?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then I remember noticing that there was also blood on the cab hood when your man with the black shirt was trying to stop him from moving.
Yeah.
I remember seeing blood on the cab. That's about it, I'd say.
Did you ever see blood on him?
Well, it was a black shirt, so I don't think
tell.
would have been able to, but nothing on his arms or anything like that.
Yeah.
So,
That makes sense.
or his face.
How many people are on the bus, would you estimate? With you.
I'd put it at anyway, like around 8 to 10. There weren't too many people on there. There was no one in the back. There was very few people up front.
And then in and around this intersection, you've got these people involved in this brawl, and then you've got some bystanders. So if you had to guess, how many people would you put in and around the area where this was happening?
There wasn't too much street traffic because it was pretty late. So I didn't actually notice any bystanders. But again, because traffic stopped, like no cars were moving along Queen Street
Right.
because of this. So there would have been a fair number of people who would have seen it from their cars.
Okay. But in terms of like pedestrians and, I guess a couple, the cars in the immediate that might have had a clear view.
How many people?
Yeah. And this is just a rough guess.
I'd say it's 15 people.
5-0 or 1-5?
1-5.
Yeah. Okay, so not many people then.
No, not so many. And again, mostly from the cars.
Yeah. And
Actually, no, it would be a little bit more because of this people on the streetcar. Yeah, I mean 25 would probably be a fair estimate.
yeah. Okay, and just to get an idea of the distance then, because you talked about the lighting. So when you first see them
Yeah.
initially, the group, and they're moving east on Queen Street
Yeah.
on the north side, how far would you say they are from you at that time?
When I first spotted something, it would have been about a block and a half maybe.
Okay.
And I didn't really get a clear picture for what was going on until there were kitty corner to where we were on that block. So there's I think that the store there is Sanko, sort of around there.
So how many feet would you say they are from you then?
Um, 60.
60 feet?
Yeah, maybe. Again, not great with those kinds of measurements, but as an exact description, I mean, we're on the corner, so
You're on the southwest corner.
we're on the southwest corner. So the block that I'm talking about, which would be on the northeast corner,
Okay.
it would have been about halfway down that block where I saw everything.
Okay. So then they cross, they come over to the streetcar, you get on the streetcar.
Yeah.
So when you're looking out the streetcar at this first fight with the big stocky guy and the three guys, how many feet are you looking?
Oh, distance from me to that couch, maybe.
Okay. So what's that, like 5 feet?
Yeah, sure.
And then you notice the skirmish at the front, or
Mhm.
towards the front with the girl
Yeah,
and
and
the guy.
there was also something going on there simultaneously as the skirmish at the bus shelter.
Right.
I just didn't see that.
Is that, are you thinking that's involving his other friend?
Yeah.
So do you know what was happening there? Like,
No,
could you say
no.
who he was fighting? Just that he was into something.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you see the girl at the front with the stocky guy, how
Yeah.
far is that happening
For
for you?
me,
Yeah.
10 feet.
10 feet, so just a little bit farther, right?
Yeah.
And then when
Again, directly from the streetcar.
right. Okay. And then when you look out the left, where you see all the cab stuff happening, where he's straddled over the cab, how far is he then? Distance wise. Approximately.
15, 20.
Okay.
About halfway down the road.
So those main things you described, you had a pretty good view.
Sure.
Detective Gallant may have some questions.
Actually, not too many. You covered up a lot of the important ones. I'm just going to go back to. You said when you got on the streetcar, you got on with a bunch of other people. Was there anybody else with you, or were you alone?
I was alone.
So you weren't with anybody.
No.
You were just getting on the bus with other random people.
That's right.
You gave descriptions of, first of all, two people, the stocky guy in the black shirt and his friend, we'll say, and then you gave a description of three more males, including the guy with no shirt that fell down, and then a guy with dreadlocks or matted hair, and a guy with a baseball cap.
That's right.
You gave a description of one female with a black dress. Is there any other people that you would recognize or can describe that were involved in this?
There were other people there, and I'm sure of that. I'm not sure that I'd be able to pick them out of the crowd or anything like that. But there
Anybody
was,
else directly involved though in any of the fighting?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that there was at least one other guy, probably two, and definitely another female. So, but I just didn't catch a clear look at them, so I don't know what they look like.
Definitely one other female,
Yeah.
and possibly one or two other guys?
Yeah.
When you say you saw the blood on top of the cab, how much blood are you looking at? Like, how much are you
Just
seeing?
a
Like,
smear, like size of my palm, maybe.
and where in relation to where he was lying on the cab would that correspond to? Would that like have been up where his head was, been where his feet were,
It
been where
would
his...
have been on his side, like on the hood, around where his hand or forearm would have been.
You described the female in the black dress as when the guy got knocked out or got put down by the stocky guy in the black shirt. When he got put down, she had a reaction to that.
Yeah.
What
that's
was
it. Well,
what was her reaction? You said I forget the word you used. You used the word that she
Yeah.
raw.
she
Raw.
That
That's
was-
what
was
I
it raw?
Yeah, it was.
R-A-W?
R-A-W.
Raw. So what? Can you describe more what
mad.
her? Okay, so she got mad. Like what? How did you sense she got mad? Like what was she doing to describe that?
She just got more sort of confrontational and louder.
Was she enraged? Is that fair to say?
That would be fair to say.
What was she doing? Like what was her actions?
Again, she still had the bike at that point. So,
So the girl with the black dress had the bike?
the bike was still there, and then this turned into fighting somehow. I didn't see what happened to the bike. But yeah, at that point it was still just words.
So she was yelling
And moving towards the target of her anger.
Was she jumping up and down? Was she swinging her arms? Did you hear any of the words she was saying to him?
No. There would have been some arm movement, some arm swinging.
And the guy's reaction to that was kind of, what was that?
Defensive, I'd say. But he was being aggressive. I'm not sure if my statement makes that clear. I mean, he wasn't sort of trying to play it cool the whole time. He was well involved in the general kind of anger and yelling.
Yeah. So he was participating.
Oh yeah, he wasn't doing anything to mollify the situation.
From the time that he knocks the guy down to the ground, and then the fight kind of starts up with the girl, from that period of time alone until he's onto the cab, how long is that kind of little fight going on between him and the girl?
Again, that's around where my attention got distracted, so it gets pretty hazy. I mean, I'd say it was a couple minutes. And there was sort of relaying between the two groups of things going on.
And when you called 911 and you were telling the dispatcher or the call taker what was going on,
Yeah.
are you kind of giving like a play-by-play as to, okay, now this guy's doing this and this guy's doing that? Is that?
Well, I think partly I was busy relaying what had just happened,
Okay.
so I was missing a lot of what was happening.
Because you were doing that at the time.
Yeah, like I was the thing that happened, by the bus shelter that I've been describing to you. That's what I was talking about while this other stuff was going on.
Okay.
With the woman in the middle of the street.
Did you see any blood on the girl?
No.
Black dress?
No. Didn't.
Okay, I told you before we got started that we're going to show you some pictures.
Sure.
And that's what these envelopes are here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through what the instructions are, and then we'll just go through the process, because there's a number of pictures that you're going to look at.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Just at the beginning, obviously, this process is still being audio taped and videotaped.
Yeah.
Now, since you were interviewed even on the phone or when you spoke to Officer Ponzi earlier, or any time since this investigation started or since this incident happened, have you received any information about this investigation at all from anywhere?
Yeah, I've from two friends.
Yeah.
I've heard that it had turned into a homicide, which I guess, based on your phone call,